You ready? Okay. Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This is exciting.
My name is Ces Butner. Past president in 2020 to 2021, and I have the honor of serving as president of the day for the Oakland Rotary Club of Oakland, number 3. Founded in 1908, we are the third oldest Rotary Club in the world, with more than 36,000 Rotary clubs in over 200 countries worldwide. Our club represents a diverse membership of 290 business, professional, and community leaders united to serve the local and international communities through a commitment to service above self. I'd like to welcome everyone to our 5,476th meeting. Welcome to our friends on Zoom. Let's see all the friends. There we are. Hello, everybody on Zoom. We're not supposed to be using our phones during the meeting, but President Tom has asked me to say, everyone pull out your phones, go to Facebook, search Rotary Club of Oakland, and check in for today's meeting. This will go a long way to supporting our usual social media outreach. For over 115 years, we have welcomed Rotarians and guests around the world to our club and meetings. This is Governor Ed Jelen. Where are you? Do we have any visiting Rotarians?
Hello, President Ces. First of all, I want to wish everybody a happy Pi Day. Today is March 14, 3.14. So
yeah.
Happy Pi Day to everybody. Did I miss any visiting Rotarians? Are there any visiting Rotarians here? Where? President Ces, a visiting Rotarian is getting lunch. That's all. Well, that's Frank Paré. I know Frank. Welcome to our club, Frank.
Yeah. All right. Do we have any invited guests? And if you have any online, they can sign in online, but let's have the ones on the floor right now.
We'll go CJ first because I'm closer.
All right, CJ.
We're very close. Wonderful to see you up there, Ces. So it's wonderful to see someone else. I mean, it was like the conquering hero when she returned. And former member and wonderful human being, Kathy Marty. Step up.
Yeah.
Don't get excited. Marie, do you know Marie, Ces? You
Nope.
should. She's an active member.
All right, Marie.
Hi, my name is Marie. I work at Fast Signs in Oakland, and my guest today is Anissa with Mar Techniques.
All right, welcome.
All right, good afternoon, Oakland Rotary. My name is Tom Limon. I'm a commercial real estate broker with Newmark.
Oh, he's like past president, President Tom Lamont.
And I have two guests today. I have Christina Mena and her colleague Charles Brown, both with City National Bank. Christina is our banker, our club's banker, and Charles Brown is the financial planner. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Pat Williams, former executive director of the club. We have two visitors today. They found us online this is a networking and service club event. There's Ramon Balmori, and Chad Porras. They're both with New York Life.
Oh, welcome. That's it. Did we have any online that listed online that guests that we have? I think that would be a no. So, because we want to remain grounded and focused, we always begin our meetings, or at least we did when I was president, by jointly reciting our vision. So, put the vision up on the screen. Together, we see a world, come on, where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. All right, it makes me feel good. Next, we'll have our thought for the day. Past President David Stein, will you please share with us your thought for the day? And after doing so, has an announcement as well.
So, past president, acting president, and wonderful guy, Ces, thank you. I'm modeling CJ's reader glasses today because I forgot mine at home. Hopefully I'll be able to do this. I have two quotes. The first is from Hubert Humphrey. It was once said that the moral test of government is how that government treats those who are in the dawn of life, the children, those who are in the twilight of life, the elderly, and those who are in the shadows of life, the sick, the needy, and the handicapped. Hubert Humphrey. Yes, Jack, that was for you. The second quote is, with all that's going on in the world, I thought was appropriate for today. If you don't know the guy on the other side of the world, love him anyway because he's just like you. He has the same dreams, the same hopes and fears. It's one word, world, pal. We're all neighbors. Frank Sinatra. And now an announcement. What do these people all have in common? Sophie Tucker, Al Jolson, John Philip Sousa, Earl Warren, Ronald Reagan, Jerry Brown, Condoleezza Rice, Abigail Van Buren, also known as Dear Abby, Edward Teller, Johnny Miller, and Joe Morgan. Thank you, Jack. For those of you who couldn't hear, those were all speakers at Oakland Rotary.
And Jack saw them all. That's not a joke.
Jack introduced a few of them back in the early 1900s. Well, the question for today is, what speakers and topics do you want to hear at Oakland Rotary? And the way to have that great input into that is on your tables. There's a flyer for the kickoff meeting for the Speakers Committee for the 2024-2025 year under President-elect Shannon. We're going to have a kickoff meeting at CJMI Home in Alameda. The address is on the flyer. My phone number's on the flyer. The email's on the flyer. Our tech is going to help us by putting my phone number and email in the chat for those of you online. If you want to come and be part of the Speakers Committee and help determine who's standing behind the lectern, please join the committee. We'd love to have you. And we also just welcome input from people. So that's my announcement. Please support the Speakers Committee and give us good speakers. Thank you.
Thank you, Past President David Stein. Today, we have a distinct privilege of inducting a new member. Always love introducing new members. When we did it when I was president, everything's online. We had to do it online, but we get to do it in person now. David Stein, why don't you come up here and tell us two interesting facts about our new member.
Past president / acting president for the day, Ces, fellow Rotarians and guests, it's my honor today to introduce Oakland Rotary's newest member, Andrew Shalata. Andrew is a partner at Donahue Fitzgerald, where he is co-chair of the Employment Practice Group. He's married and has two daughters, ages 12 and 15. Two interesting facts. Number one, Andrew's parents were born in Ukraine, where they lived through part of World War II in Western Ukraine before immigrating through Germany to the United States. Andrew's traveled back to Ukraine to track his heritage and ancestry and stay in touch with family who still live in Ukraine. He was there in Kiev, shortly after the breakup of the Soviet Union in 1991. There's a lot more interesting pieces to this Ukraine story with Andrew, but I'm going to leave all those for his 3-minute self-introduction, and you'll get them then. Second interesting fact, Andrew's been an avid skier since he was introduced to the slopes at age 3. He still enjoys skiing, particularly with his daughters, for one simple reason: they don't take their cell phones onto the slopes, and so they can actually interact and talk. Please give a warm Rotary welcome to Andrew Shalata.
Andrew, your new red badge signifies you as a new member. You will also receive in this little packet, we got all kinds of little things. You'll receive a four-way test, which gives Rotarians the guide for their daily lives. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? You will also receive your Rotary Made Easy handbook, which provides useful information about our club and club directory with 280 of your newest best friends. Also included is your Rotary pin and your club pin. Please wear it proudly. With this pin, you can attend any Rotary Club meetings anywhere in the world. You will also receive the Club Centennial Book, which documents our club's history over the past 100 years, written by our own Linda Hamilton. Your commitment as a new member is to attend meetings, participate in one or more of our committees, practice service above self, and contribute to both the Rotary Foundation and the Oakland Rotary Endowment. It's my pleasure, privilege, and honor to induct you as the newest member of the Rotary Club of Oakland.
Don't sit down, Dave.
Yeah, you gotta.
For the three of you guys, real quick. Posterity. Should I put this on? You should, definitely. Just ruin that sweater. It's going to be one of many you'll ruin for us. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll do one more. Just give your handsome faces. 3, 4, 5, 6. Good job.
Now, we have. All right, Bruce, would you like to ring the bell? Yes. Who's that for? Give him a mic over there. Bruce Nye.
I'll explain why the two people I want to ring the bell for. Long ago, I was approached by then former President David Stein and brought here as a guest during a time when for complicated reasons, I wasn't able to join. But much later when I could, bless her heart, CJ sponsored me, and that's when I was able to join. And not long after I joined then, Ces was the president. So Ces and David, of course, were both presidents, and were both absolutely fantastic. And I'm very happy to ring the bell on behalf of both of those gentlemen.
Oh, is that
One bell, one for the
two?
One.
Oh.
One. But Ces, would you do us a favor?
There's another ringer on the bell back there.
Hello.
Yeah, I just want to say that, Ces, you are just doing amazing today. Now we see what we missed out on, and I think that you should be elected again as president.
Ring the bell.
Ces, not that I want to tell you how to do your job, but can you tell us again why we're ringing
Yes,
the bell?
I know. I'll get to it. Ringing the bell is our tradition for a $100 donation to the ORE, tax-deductible donation to the ORE Foundation, Oakland Rotary Endowment. Thank you for those bell rings. Now, it's birthday time. Merlin Edwards, where are you? Where are you, Merlin? Is Merlin Edwards here? Come on up and get the birthday hat. You got chosen for the birthday hat.
Hey, you already have a hat. That's fantastic. Let's see how we're gonna-
It's your birthday on the 14th, today.
That's Pi Day. Give it to me.
So Pi Day is his birthday.
All right, then. You could put it right over this hat if you want, but don't.
All right, I see another
Fantastic.
bell
Let me take a
ringer
picture of
over
you,
there
embarrassed.
for me. Jason, could you?
I'm getting there.
To Julie Fox.
Julie Fox. I love Julie Fox.
I'd like to ring the bell twice on behalf of Shauna O'Hare for Ces Butner. Two rings, 2 bells.
Oh,
Let me take a picture of you.
thank you. Joe Garaka.
Ring the bell for my I'd be remiss if I didn't ring the bell for my good buddy Ces Butner. And Tom, you can tell he's a past president because once you become past president, you always say, "This is how we always did it."
Thank you for that bell ring. Yeah, now can we go on? Next week is our annual gala. We hope to see you all there. And Trish Connors, please share the latest news on the gala.
All right, thank you, past President Ces. I became a member of Rotary during Ces's term. Very exciting. He's much more exciting in live than he was on Zoom, no offense. Anyway, but as Jason said, everybody is. So I'd like to talk about the gala. That's next Thursday, 7 days from now. We are still selling tickets, but we need to know by the end of the day if you're coming and what your meal is going to be. This is a fantastic event. It's, can we get the slide so we can see the beautiful invitation? It's an amazing event. It's going to be at Scott's Seafood. Our theme, as you hopefully know, is Spring into Service. So please come and we can honor our service and fund next year's projects and amazing organizations that benefit from our generous donations. We're also selling raffle tickets, Best of Live raffle tickets. We have, what, Carrie, 20 left. So remember, we only sell 100 tickets. They're $100 each, but the winner gets to pick one of the live auction items right off the top before the live auction begins, and you don't have to be present to win. Finally, I want to thank all of our sponsors and all of our very, very generous auction item donors this year, and a special, and a special shout out to Jason Weiselman, who has been on demand for all of the amazing graphic design for the invitations, the sponsors, the logos. He's just, look at that. I mean, he's just been amazing. So thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Thank you, Trish, for that announcement. Everybody be there or be square. We want to make sure we make it, this the most successful gala that we've ever had. John Holmgren is next up. Will you join us to share about an upcoming volunteer opportunity?
Thank you, Mr. Former President. It is field trip season at Oakland Rotary. Many of you know that each year for many years, our club has sponsored field trips to Oakland Zoo and Children's Fairyland for Oakland's transitional kindergarten classes. And this year, those are coming up, and I need your help. The first one is on Friday, March 22nd, okay, and that one is going to be at Children's Fairyland. This is a very unusual one and a new one for us because these are special education transitional kindergarten students. And so we need some help managing the process of getting those classes into the venue. Now each year, we have had Rotarians appear at the beginning of the field trip just to greet the kids when they arrive. It's a wonderful show of support for them to have us there with our Rotary swag and everything to let them know that the Rotary Club is sponsoring their attendance at these events. Many of you know that, or who have been to the zoo or to Fairyland, know that they are wonderful events, they're wonderful venues, they are worth every penny of what it costs to go. But they're expensive for a family with not a lot of means. It's hard for them to go to those places. So the families really love the fact that we support them in this way. So here's my ask for March 22nd, a week from tomorrow. I need as many people as possible there at approximately 9:30 to greet the kids when they arrive. That's about maybe a 30-minute thing by the time they get there and they go into the park. But in addition to that, I need 6 Rotarians who are willing to help out with registration, getting the kids into the park. That's from about 9:30 to 10:30. And if possible, I also need 2 more Rotarians to help with the art project from approximately 10 to 12. Okay, so if you're able to help and we're willing to do so, you can either approach me later in the meeting and say, yes, I'm willing to help out and here's what I'm willing to do. Or you can say, there should be some contact information somewhere. It was supposed to be posted with my email and my phone number. For those who are watching online, you could let me know that you are able to help and in what way, and I will contact you. But anyway, I hope to see you there. It's a wonderful event. There will be other events, field trip events in April that I will let you know about later. But the next one is a week from tomorrow, and I appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you for that announcement, John. Today, we have a former Cerrone Lena scholar. His name is Brian Rossello. Stephen, are you going to make an introduction? Oh, you want to make the introduction. Stephen Bear is here to tell us a few words about him, and he's got a special journey that he's on. Thank you. Stephen.
Thank you. Thank you, President Ces. It's a great meeting. Yeah. It's going really. So, yeah, today I want to, greetings, fellow Rotarians. I want to introduce Brian Rossello. Brian is one of our Cerrone Lena students, and he's going to graduate this year from UC Merced in a degree in engineering, mechanical engineering, is that right? Yeah. And so then once he graduates, he's going to go on a little adventure that he's going to tell us about. So welcome, Brian, and see what he has to say. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm here to present about the Journey of Hope. And the next slide is a little bit about myself. I'm currently a senior at UC Merced studying mechanical engineering. I'm also an Oakland Promise Scholarship recipient. And through Oakland Promise, they have aided me financially through my college journey. They've allowed me not to have to worry too much about the financial side of going to college, and allowed me to explore different opportunities on campus and be involved more in my campus. One of the ways I've been involved is I'm a mentor for the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers for underclassmen. I also joined a social fraternity on campus, Pi Kappa Phi, where I've held the position of president and the standards chairman. I'm currently training now for my next journey, the Journey of Hope. So the Journey of Hope is a cross-country cycling trip that starts from San Francisco all the way to Washington, D.C. It's 12,000 miles, and it's covered in 2 months. For this journey, I've pledged to raise $7,500 for the Ability Experience. The Ability Experience is the nonprofit organization that's founded and funded by Pi Kappa Phi. Their mission statement is using shared experiences to support people with disabilities and developing the men of Pi Kappa Phi into servant leaders. The way that the Journey of Hope helps people with disabilities is through friendship visits. There are 30 friendship visits along the whole 12,000-mile route. In these friendship visits, we stop at these communities and organizations that help people with disabilities, and we host activities, dinners, outdoor activities, anything that we create a community where a space that they feel space, and to show that everybody is able. One of the ways that the Journey of Hope financially helps people with disabilities is the $7,500 that I raise, every cyclist raise, and every crew member raise that takes to put on this trip. It all totals up to $600,000 that we then give out through the whole summer. And the way we give it is through grants. So after every time we visit one of these friendship visits, before we hit the road back on the bike, we are able to present a grant to each organization and community for them to keep funding their programs and to keep helping their community for people with disabilities. It was up there, but if you scan the QR code at your tables, it takes you to my fundraising page. There you will see, you'll learn more about why I chose the Journey of Hope and more about the Journey of Hope itself.
Thank you, Brian. Very good. You can help Brian out. It's on your table. You can scan the QR code and give to his efforts that he's doing right now. A few years ago, I wanted to make our club more inclusive and adopt some principles that have made a positive impact on our club. Rotary International listened and carefully to all the clubs that were embarking on a DEI code of conduct, and they created their own DEI code of conduct. I think we have it on the screen, which is from Rotary International. They have recognized us as one of the leading clubs that started doing this, both at international and the district as well. And today, we have our fellowship moment, part of our effort with it, that Kimberly Miller will tell us a little bit more about. Thanks.
Thank you, President Ces. It's a really excellent meeting today. Hello, fellow Rotarians. How are you? How are you? Oh, good. Oh, good. It's so much better to hear your voices, bright and sunshiny. So, I'm here to present the fellowship moment, which is designed to deepen our connections and understanding of one another. As Rotarians and as fellow humans, we all bring a background with us when we come into this room to connect to each other, to lift up what we do together in service for Oaklanders. It's an effort to get beyond the handshake and invite us to learn more about each other more deeply. In this fellowship moment, you will pair up with someone at your table. It would be great if you did it with somebody you don't know very well. Pair up with somebody at your table whom you don't already know well, and take turns telling each other the following question. Have you benefited from a mentor at any time in your life? And if so, how? So pair up. You will have about 2 minutes per person to share. And if we can get the online facilitation to pair up into breakout rooms, that would be great. Is talking. Make sure everybody is talking. It's time to trade if you haven't traded. Okay, if we can start finishing up so we can share out. About 30 more seconds. Okay. If you can hear my voice, clap once. If you can hear my voice, clap twice. All right. Let's circle up Rotarians? Can I hear one interesting thing that someone heard about mentorship? Yeah, Stephanie.
Stand up,
Stephanie needs a mic.
So we were talking about mentors, and Dave said he really only had one mentor in his life that he could think of besides family, and that was Jack McAvoy.
Oh. Wonderful. It's
No
nice to
rebuttal?
I will say, Shannon and I had a similar conversation about how Rotary is full of mentors and mentees, and so it's really great that we have that community together. Thank you so much for sharing, and continue doing so.
Isn't that wonderful? That was excellent. Gave us a chance to talk with Linda Hamilton as well. Then there, I really like your mentor too. We have a couple of events coming up next week, in a couple of weeks, including the St. Vincent de Paul volunteer opportunity. In the past 4 years, we have donated well over $30,000 to St. Vincent de Paul to feed the hungry, upgrade the computer lab, and commissary. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for making this happen on Saturday, March 23rd, from 9 to 1. We have a now volunteer opportunity to help them with their Easter egg hunt, face painting, brunch, arts and crafts, and all such as that. Who runs the was it Daniel, there you are. Daniel, if you want to say anything else about it, I want to make sure we got that in. All right. On your desk, I think at your tables, we have the QR codes for all the upcoming events, and those are the ones that we want to look at. I don't want to cut our great speaker off for any of our time, so I want to say something about this. Today we have a special Rotarian providing a retrospective of the 4th anniversary of the COVID pandemic lockdown. That was 4 years ago, just as I was getting ready to become president. Peter Sheriff, thank God we had Peter at that particular time. Peter, you're online, thank you. We hit March 17th, I'll never forget the day, on COVID. And we had to change everything, really change it, spin around on the dime. I remember Peter and I coming in here, we're the only ones in here, sitting at a little desk, and we had a computer. We were trying to figure it out to get everybody on Zoom. But that's what we ended up doing, and we started the process of how we were going to do it. And I have one overriding responsibility, I thought, for that time next year as president. It was, one, to keep Rotary intact. 2, to keep it exciting and fun, make something that could make it exciting for everybody to be involved with. And 3, I think possibly the one that helped me most, past President David Stein, was to bring excellent speakers on it so that you would have a reason to look at me and my ugly face every week, every Thursday on Zoom. I said we got to have great speakers. And past President David Stein, thank you for making that year a wonderful list of speakers. We had probably the best lineup of speakers all year long that we could ever have. We had people like President-elect, the first woman president for Rotary, Jennifer Jones. We had Barbara Lee, our congressperson. We had the head of the San Francisco Federal Reserve and a group discussion on the economy and what was going to happen with the COVID situation and everything else. We just had a plethora of great speakers, and I just wanted to thank you for that publicly, David. So Shannon, you're in good hands having David as your speaker's chair next year. Now, with no further ado, let's bring up Linda Hamilton to give us our retrospective.
Wow, thank you, Past President Ces Butner. Oh, isn't this amazing? Like you said, we want more, we want more. All right, so I'm just gonna sit up here a little bit. I am going to, as you said, take us back in time today to look at COVID-19 and how it changed the world and how our club rallied in response to not only keep going, but maybe even get a little better. All right, I'm going to share my screen so I can include everybody at home. And share, and I'm going to start this puppy up. All right, here we go. That's one thing that's changed, AV. All right. Now, for those of you who don't know, what you are seeing on your screen is not just an ordinary rotary wheel. It's a time machine. And it runs on Rotarian power. The gears are a little rusty because we haven't done this in a while. So I'm going to need your help to get it started. On 3, I need you both in the ballroom and at home to say as loud as possible, turn back the wheel. So are you ready? It's going to be 1, 2, 3. Turn back the wheel. You did it. All right. Woo! Where are we going? March 11th, 2020. We haven't traveled far back, but we have traveled to a whole different world. The World Health Organization, or WHO, has declared the outbreak of the 2019 novel coronavirus, shortened to the abbreviation COVID-19, a global pandemic. Since its inception around December 16th, 2019, in the city of Wuhan, China, about 3 months earlier, there had been more than 118,000 cases in 114 countries and 4,291 deaths. The first case arose in California on January 26th. We were all wondering, with new information every day, what this new disease is and who's at risk and how to keep from getting it and how to help. There were so many questions. But we know that it is spread human to human in transmission. And we see this reminder in our own port of Oakland, where the Grand Princess cruise ship, do you remember this? With 3,500 passengers aboard, are slowly disembarking after days and days of isolation in their staterooms after people tested positive aboard for COVID. And they'll still remain quarantined at military facilities before they can go home. 2 days later, on March 13th, Oakland Unified closes doors for 3 weeks. So that employees of OUSD can try to figure out how to operate schools during this pandemic. Of course, we know now that schools will remain online for the next year and a half. That same day, the U.S. issued a widespread travel ban, replacing a limited one from earlier in the month. And on March 19th, the day Ces was talking about, Governor Gavin Newsom issues the stay-at-home order to slow the spread of COVID-19, except for essential workers who are all home, figuring out how to get groceries, educate and entertain our kids without too much screen time, how to work, how to stay in touch with friends and family, how to stay safe, how to maintain relationships without going crazy. We also learned a lot of new things. For example, in a panic, people will buy up a lot of toilet paper. It turns out that people have deep emotional connections to what goes into and comes out of their bodies. The paper goods shelves are so bare that in one cafe in Australia, they accepted rolls of teepee as payment. A cup of coffee, it's true, a cup of coffee ran you 3 rolls of 2-ply. So whether people hoarded the stuff or just took what they needed and left some for the rest of the community, kind of became an analogy for 2 points of view, 2 types of human survival, something else that we learned from. Other supply shortages followed. Hand sanitizer sales jumped to 600%. Cleaning products sailed off the shelves since we were wiping down everything, including our groceries. And perhaps most alarming is a medical mask shortage. Masks are recommended by the CDC on April 3rd, so we're all searching on YouTube for tutorials of how to make our own with clothing or bandanas. Oh, a piece of trivia for you. Masks made of sweatshirts offered more protection than t-shirts, Hanes brand coming out #1, and cotton towels were more protective than scarves. Did you know that? Of course, there were no public events during that time. Concerts, theaters, conferences, meetings, restaurants, bars were all closed. And of course, this included meetings of the Rotary Club of Oakland in the California Ballroom. Everybody say, oh, I know, it was awful. But we knew that we had to keep going and connect to each other and support each other, that was essential. We knew this as Rotarians. So we missed maybe one meeting, Ces, as you guys were figuring it out, something like that, only one. Oakland Rotary meetings went online, thanks to Ces and President Peter Sherris at the time and others in the club that had been modernizing technology and outreach by streaming media on Facebook and YouTube. And then of course, came the widespread use of the tool called Zoom. Suddenly, family dinners looked like this. That's my family dinner. Work looked like this. Okay, how many of you did not work in anything on the bottom? I'm just saying. And school looked like this. And so much was new. I mean, we didn't know in 2020 what was real and what wasn't regarding information we were receiving about COVID-19. So, past President Peter Sherris conducted online webinars. To eyeball the distance of 6 feet. And how long, there we go, 6 feet, all kinds of ways. And how long 20 seconds are washing our hands. It turned out it was 2 times happy birthday. We learned lots of new vocabulary, such as flattening the curve, super spreader, social distancing. We learned new definitions of pods and bubbles. We learned about Zoom bombing. And of course, there was the Corona cut, which was, doing your own hair at home since salons were closed. And, of course, the quarantini. This was Dudley's favorite, I think. Any cocktail you mixed at home during the lockdown. Many of us learned how to make bread and sourdough starters. And this, of course, was followed by a shortage of flour and baking goods. Some of us were filming ourselves doing TikTok dances, doing puzzles, hiking, cooking, doing home improvement projects, learning to knit or tie-dye, and of course, all of our pets became our unofficial emotional support animals, and that's my dog Donut. Thank God for Donut. It really hit home for Oakland Rotarians. To entertain ourselves, we binge-watched movies and television or Tiger King on Netflix. The film and TV industry is one of those that has changed irrevocably since COVID occurred. We had no freeway traffic, and our skies were uncommonly blue, but at the same time, we were aware of the tragic backdrop of our lives. It really hit home for Oakland Rotarians when we lost our dear friend, past President Gene Zahas, on April 7th, 2020. By then, there were over 18,600 confirmed deaths and more than 500,000 confirmed cases in the U.S. And our country had the most reported COVID-19 cases and deaths in the world, surpassing Italy and Spain as the global hotspot for the virus. Anxiety and depression were on the rise, especially among teenagers and young adults who naturally thrive on socialization. A scientific brief released by the WHO revealed that in the first year of COVID, global prevalence of anxiety and depression increased by a massive 25%. But Oakland Rotarians knew what to do. We created a phone tree and reached out with regular phone calls to members who were especially vulnerable during COVID. This included older members, Jack, and those with pre-existing conditions. Young members ran errands, delivered groceries, and found lots of other ways to help. Of course, some Rotary projects had to be canceled, like the Enterprise Institute, which didn't resume until April 2023. But most of the things we did, we managed to do online or in social distanced way. Boy, thank goodness for Zoom. We moved business development online. Our annual gala transformed from a boat dinner cruise to a Zoom party and surprised everyone by raising over $90,000. Zoom offered the possibility of, as Ces said, of non-local speakers, a great advantage, and amazing speakers. The annual speech contest took place by Zoom. Of course, COVID-19 wasn't the only disturbing thing going on during that time. On March 13, 2020, Breonna Taylor was killed by police while lying in her bed during the service of a warrant in a drug investigation case. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention, that's Jennifer Jones. We did that too. On May 25th, George Floyd died when he was pinned to the ground for 9 minutes and 29 seconds with Derek Chauvin's knee on his neck. Along with other similar incidents, this finally brought to the forefront the long issue of racial injustice for us to talk about. Though uncomfortable for some and emotionally weighted, we started that conversation, one we will continue. Our Rotary Board adopted the statement, Black Lives Matter, and we believe that reform and change are necessary so that one day we can live in a society truly beneficial to all. And just 6 weeks after George Floyd's death, Ces Butner was sworn in as the second African-American president of Oakland Rotary. And he helped us to keep this commitment and take on racial and social justice by forming the DEI committee and featuring guest speakers that enlightened us with different perspectives and great information. And our club, NERC, never stopped. Working with the Community Service Committee, we donated to the Oakland COVID Relief Fund, the Oakland Reach Relief Fund for immediate cash grants to families in need of necessities such as food and shelter. The Alameda Health System Foundation for personal protective equipment, and to feed ER East Bay to fund restaurant meals for first responders, and additional funds to the 9 nonprofits that received Feed the Hungry funds. Since classrooms were shut, the TK committee took books directly to students, 3,500 books, 5 per student. Hope Mentors continued their support of students online or social distance. The Carl Stuckey World Community Service Committee exceeded its goals, funding 8 global grants and 8 cash grants on 4 continents. And during COVID, we hit an all-time club record for participation and funding in the Rotary Foundation. Woo! Let's go! That is the resilience of Oakland Rotary right
Fantastic.
there.
Linda,
I'm just saying.
Linda, I have a
What?
question.
Jason,
sorry to interrupt, but I'm reading straight from your script.
What is it?
I have to ask, has the
Okay.
club ever faced a challenge this great before?
Great question, Jason. Wait, whoa, Jason, look what you've done. Oh my God, your insatiable curiosity has started up the time machine again. Okay, everybody, buckle up. Here we go. I don't know where we're going, but we'll see. Here we go. On 3, ready? 1, 2, 3. Turn back the wheel. Woo! Okay, this is Rotarian and Jason powered. Here we go. Where are we going? March 1918. A soldier at a U.S. Army camp in Kansas has the flu. Within days, 500 soldiers in the camp are sick. These are the first recorded cases of what would become known as Purple Death or the Spanish flu. Its origin, however, has nothing to do with Spain, except that with World War I raging in Europe, governments are suppressing reports of the illness, all except the free press of Spain. By fall 1918, the outbreak of influenza hits the general population and becomes deadlier. It is a pandemic, just like ours, and the word is out. Oakland began experiencing cases of influenza in late September 1918. All 3 victims, the first victims, were from different neighborhoods, suggesting that other areas would soon be affected. But with the initial progression of the epidemic slow, residents were merely advised to be vigilant and use antiseptic throat and nasal solutions. The health department ordered all saloons, soda fountains, and other places serving drinks to disinfect their glassware. Short films were screened with influenza prevention with the hopes that schools, churches, and businesses could remain open. So it came as somewhat of a shock to Oaklanders when Mayor John L. Davies announced on October 18th, on the advice of his new city health officer, a citywide closure of all theaters, movie houses, places of public amusement, schools, and churches, although open-air services were allowed. Of course, this included lunchtime meetings of the Rotary Club of Oakland, which, as you can see, looked quite different than it does today. That was in 1917, those guys. Just days later, 2,200 new cases were reported in Oakland, quickly rising to 3,500, so that the order came none too soon. The Kaiser Auditorium, built in 1917 and 1918, became an emergency hospital with 80 beds and started admitting patients at the rate of 1 every 15 minutes. Healthcare facilities could not keep up, and there was a shortage of nurses, very similar to our pandemic. On October 24th came the mandatory mask ordinance by the Oakland City Council. Unlike our times, it came with fines ranging from $5 to $100 and jail time. And 300 citizens were made into war service deputies to enforce the rule. The local Red Cross busily constructed 50,000 masks, given that there was a shortage. Does that sound familiar? The mask ordinance was met with mixed feelings, as it was in our day. The very first day it went into effect, 2 men were held up at gunpoint by 2 robbers wearing flu masks to conceal their identities in downtown Oakland. On the other hand, a local rabbi tried to entice his congregants to accept masks by telling them that masked women were more intriguing to men. And people got creative with their masks. Cases began decreasing in November, right around the armistice, and Mayor Davies removed the mask law and opened schools, but it turned out to be too soon. In December and January, cases mounted again, creating a double hump in the curve, something we did not repeat. The epidemic or pandemic affected nearly every affected every aspect of life in Oakland. Garbage collection became difficult. Election day saw a lack of poll workers. From October 1918 to February 1919, nearly 1,300 Oaklanders died of the disease. The result was a total excess death rate of 506 per 100,000 people. Even so, Oakland fared better than San Francisco, which had one of the worst rates in the nation due to a much later mask ordinance and a denser population. And as for Oakland Rotarians, they responded as they usually do, raising money and providing leadership to essential projects. However, like in our day, there was a complex backdrop. For them, it was the Great War. So they raised more than $50,000, that's a lot of money in 1918, to the United War Work Campaign. They raised money for Liberty Bonds and record funds for the Red Cross that went to both causes, the influenza and the war effort. In 1919, they repaired 10,000 pairs of shoes and sent them to war-torn France. The club created a flu committee to visit sick members, similar to what we did. However, the 3 men who went out, they loved to sing, that's why they went, but they also happened to be a prominent undertaker, a casket manufacturer, and the owner of the local crematory. I don't know. I just don't know. No longer able to meet for lunch here in the ballroom at what was then part of the Leamington Hotel, they met outdoors, like in December 1918 when 100 men from the Sacramento Club came calling. The Spanish flu influenza pandemic was declared officially over in April 1920. The United States lost 675,000 people to the Spanish flu and 50 million people worldwide, more casualties than World War I, World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War combined. Our pandemic was declared officially over on May 11th, 2023. The United States lost 1,161,000 people, 7 million worldwide. For us, we know for the foreseeable future that the coronavirus is here to stay. But with an annual vaccination, for most people, it will come and go like the common cold. But for some, more susceptible, it can still be fatal. The pandemic, however, has influenced our perspectives, our behaviors, our innovations, our psyches in ways definable and indefinable and yet to be seen. And of course, Rotarians never stopped serving our local and global communities. And we have new traditions like this hybrid meeting. We have a Goodwill Rotarian Committee now that's reaching out to folks. That just never ended after COVID, right? Reaching out to people who might be in need or we haven't seen in a while. And I think we've realized that we can serve people's needs in even more ways. Our DEI committee is still going strong in making sure we hear each other and we hear ourselves. And we have a renewed passion to promote peace, like through our new peace mural in Jack London Square. I love this picture of you, Ces. And we had 305 members before we were shut down. At the lowest during shutdown, it was 257. That was in February 22. According to what Mike Bruck told me, we are now back up to 292 and still growing. 293. So, operating within the four-way test, the Rotary Club of Oakland will continue to respond to the challenges, needs, and cultural climate of our times and thrive. What will be the next challenge we face? Well, maybe we'll find out the next time when we turn back the wheel. Woo! Thank you so much. Thank you so much, past President Ces Butner.
Big hand for Linda Hamilton. Thank you so much, Linda. It's customary for our club to make a donation in our guest speaker's name to a charity or cause. This year, our area of focus is supporting youth and parks and open space in Oakland. We'll be making a donation in your name to the Friends of Joaquin Miller Park, who strive to make the park more beautiful and accessible to the public while reducing risk of wildfire. Thank you, Linda, for that wonderful retrospective.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, Ces, we may have some bell ringers.
That's just what I was going to ask.
I was hoping you were.
How many bell ringers do we have out there today?
Yeah, and don't forget, people.
Go ahead, Jack.
You can pay on your way out. Jesse's got a little thing back there to make it happen for you.
Yeah.
Ces, it's just such an honor. I think if you do this another couple of times, you'll get it down. Next time anybody in Rotary asks you to do something, just think of the amount of time and effort that Linda put into that, that presentation. I've had the privilege of working with her several times, and that's what she does, and just fantastic. And I'll ring the bell for her. And then quickly, because this is a Tom Lamone thing that we had worked out, but he never shows up, David Douglas and Douglas Parking does an unbelievable amount of work for Oakland Rotary and perhaps doesn't get the credit they deserve. Example, every year a friend of mine buys a free parking pass to their air park every year, and he has now donated over $8,000, and it's all from Douglas Parking because he donates it to Rotary and they provide the parking. That's just another thing that people don't know about Douglas Parking.
So that's two bell ringers. Is that two bell ringers? Two bell ringers from Jack McAvoy. David Stein.
I want to outdo Jack by one. I want to ring the bell 3 times.
Oh.
First, I want to ring it, Ces, for you. This club could not have been more fortunate than to have you as president during that year. I know it changed your experience, but the energy and leadership you brought is the reason why we're still going strong today. So one bell ringer for you. Second bell ringer is this club could not have been more fortunate than to have Peter Shearis as the president when this broke out, because he had both the technology experience that was already in place, and to this day, the best presentation I've heard on COVID was the one he gave on March 5th, 2020, when we had the joint meeting with the Breakfast Club. And so his knowledge and understanding of it, we were very fortunate. So second bell ringer is for Peter. And the final bell ringer is for Gene Zajas.
Ah. 3 bell rings. We got somebody else, Dave Cannon, back there.
I'd like to ring the bell twice, once for Linda, great job.
Yeah.
And then whoever had the idea to have Ces run the meeting, fantastic, so congratulations.
I already rang the bell for Sir Ces, but I would like to echo David Stein and ring the bell for our charming and very vocal Linda Hamilton. And I want to ring it for my good friend Gene Zahas, who I know is looking down and smiling on all of us.
Isaac Cost Reed.
Yes, indeed. Seeing all those graphics and things up there.
Civic Thursday. That's what we call it, Civic Thursday.
Yeah, I got to ring the bell for, actually, I'll ring the bell for each of the presidents that I served under as the chair of the Communications and Public Image Committee, because we had to communicate through all that without this in-person contact. And so I think that's
Yes, sorry about this. I think this is a dropout in the ballroom. I had a dropout here in my home, so we're having a number of bandwidth issues.
Okay.
President Tom.
No, Ces, this meeting was more incredible than I could have imagined. So thank you for taking the lead on this. And Linda, your presentation exceeded my expectations way, way beyond. Thank you so much. I know that you spent so much time in planning this, and just really appreciate you bringing back the wheel. Thank you.
Do we have any other bell ringers? Ruth, why don't you, oh, wait a minute, Shannon Hackley.
Okay. Okay. I wanted to ring the bell for you, Ces. Thank you so much. And I also just wanted to remind people that we do hands-on work here, and we have Help St. Vincent de Paul this coming next weekend, and we do need help for the field trips. So everybody, please, you want hands-on? We've got it.
Yeah. All right, now we'll go with Ruth. Are you going to tell us about what's happening next week?
Oh, a couple things. First of all, Jason tells me to tell people to vote for the food. Humble brag, I made it. And I vote for salad, so that's how I roll. Please, next week, do not come to the ballroom. Please join us at the gala. Help us raise a record amount of money and do the work we do here, so we can do the work we do here in Oakland. The following week, we will also not be in the ballroom. We will be at Chabot Space and Science, and we have an afternoon meeting starting at 4 o'clock. And I think that they're going to have a little hospitality at the end, so please be prepared to get home safe. And then lastly, we are so proud of a speaker that we recently booked, Sonia Diaz. Sonia Diaz is the founding executive director for the Latino Policy Institute at UCLA. She'll be joining us either in Zoom or in person. We're still working on it. And because it is the belated birthday of Cesar Chavez, that will be our Cesar Chavez Day celebration. So thank you, everybody. We look forward to seeing you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you, everybody online. Thank you, past President David Stein, for everything you did today. John Holmgren for the update. Trish for the update on the gala, and Kimberly for the DEI Fellowship moment. And finally, join me in thanking Linda Hamilton once again for a beautiful recipe. So I'd like to end this meeting, although I'm a little bit over time, as we always did. And that's the way it went at the 5,476 Club meeting on March 14th, 2024 at Oakland Rotary number 3, the third oldest Rotary Club in the world. Everyone remember, Rotary opens opportunities for service above self. Or as President Tom likes to say, Oakland Rotary is here for you, and for now, this meeting of Rotary Club of Oakland is adjourned.
May everyone please be sure